Loving her was like driving them faster than the wind, passionate as sin, ending so suddenly, just before they lose it all. Losing, but loving her was rare.
It was almost midnight in Los Angeles. The city outside was glowing the way it always does, endless headlights stretching through the streets like rivers of light. Inside a quiet room, a phone screen lit up the darkness. On that screen was an Instagram post. Not promotional, not glamorous, not part of an album rollout. Just words. Honest words. Words written by Selena Gomez. Within minutes, fans around the world started noticing it. Then screenshots began spreading. Fan pages reposted it. Pop culture accounts amplified it. And suddenly, millions of people were reading the same message. A tribute, a thank you, a confession of admiration, directed at one person, Taylor Swift. But what made the post special wasn't just what Selena said. It was why she said it. Because behind that message was a friendship that had lasted through fame, heartbreak, public criticism, and some of the darkest personal battles either of them had faced. And that night, Selena decided to say something publicly that many people close to them already knew. Something simple, something powerful, something that revealed just how much Taylor's songwriting had meant to her, not just as a fan, but as a friend. And the story behind that moment is far more emotional than most people realize. In the world of pop music, friendships are fragile. Competition is constant. Every chart position, every award, every headline becomes a silent comparison. And history has shown that even the closest celebrity friendships can crumble under that pressure. But somehow, through nearly 2 decades of global fame, Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift built something rare, something real. They met as teenagers navigating the early chaos of Hollywood. They grew into global superstars. They faced public breakups, health struggles, media storms, and the loneliness that often comes with massive fame. Yet through all of it, they stayed connected, not through constant headlines, but through quiet support, private phone calls, late-night conversations, and sometimes through music. Because for Selena, Taylor's songwriting wasn't just entertainment. It was something much more personal, a mirror, a language, a way of understanding emotions that are difficult to explain. And that's why that Instagram tribute mattered so much. Because sometimes a song written by a friend can say things that even words cannot. But to understand that moment, we need to go back to the beginning. The year was 2008. Neither girl could have predicted what their lives were about to become. Selena Gomez was rising as one of Disney Channel's biggest young stars, gaining attention from the show wizards of Waverly Place. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift was just beginning to break into mainstream music with songs that felt unusually personal for a teenage country artist. They were young, ambitious, and suddenly surrounded by a world that moved very fast. Their first meeting was not dramatic. No cameras, no viral moment. Just 2 young artists crossing paths during the early days of their careers. But what connected them instantly was something deeper than fame. They were both outsiders in the same strange world. Hollywood can feel isolating, especially when success arrives early. Everyone wants something from you. Managers, studios, record labels,
Fans, media.
but finding someone who actually understands what you're going through, that's rare. And in those early conversations, Selena and Taylor realized they understood each other in a way most people around them didn't. They talked about music, about writing, about relationships, about how overwhelming everything sometimes felt. And slowly, a friendship formed. Not the flashy kind designed for cameras, but the kind built through shared experiences, late-night texts, inside jokes, and long conversations about life. At the time, neither of them knew just how intense the next decade would become. Within a few years, both of their careers exploded. Taylor Swift transformed from a country newcomer into a global pop phenomenon. Albums like Fearless and Red introduced songwriting that felt like pages from a personal diary. Listeners connected deeply with her storytelling. Every lyric seemed to capture emotions people struggled to express themselves. Meanwhile, Selena Gomez was navigating a different but equally intense path. Her acting career expanded. Her music career began growing. Her personal life became one of the most scrutinized topics in entertainment media. And suddenly, both of them were living under a microscope. Every relationship, every outfit, every social media post, analyzed, debated,
Judged.
and during that time, something interesting started happening. Whenever Selena heard Taylor songs, she recognized pieces of real emotion inside them. Not just heartbreak, but confusion,
Growth. Healing.
and sometimes quiet strength. Those songs didn't just resonate with fans. They resonated with her. Because behind the scenes, Selena was going through many of the same emotional experiences. Moments of doubt, moments of vulnerability, moments when the pressure of public life became overwhelming. And during those moments, Taylor's songwriting sometimes felt like someone putting those emotions into words. But what fans didn't know at the time was just how often the two friends talked privately about those feelings. And sometimes, those conversations would quietly influence the music itself. Publicly, fans saw glimpses of their bond. Award show appearances, birthday posts, supportive tweets. But the real strength of their friendship existed away from cameras. In hotel rooms during tours. In long phone calls after difficult headlines. In quiet moments where fame didn't matter. And during those moments, songwriting often became part of their conversations. Taylor has always been known for writing songs inspired by real emotions, real experiences, real conversations. And Selena understood that process better than most. Sometimes she would hear a song before it was released. Sometimes she would simply talk with Taylor about life, about relationships, about growing up in public. And even when those experiences were painful, music transformed them into something meaningful. Which is why years later, when Selena wrote that Instagram tribute, it didn't come out of nowhere. It came from years of watching that songwriting process up close. Years of hearing lyrics that captured emotions she herself had felt. Years of witnessing how deeply Taylor cared about telling honest stories through music. But the moment that inspired Selena's tribute would arrive much later. And it would come during a time when both women had already survived some of the hardest chapters of their lives. Years passed. Albums came and went. Tours filled stadiums. Both artists experienced major personal changes. But the friendship remained steady. Then one day, Selena heard a song. A new song written by Taylor. And something about it stopped her completely. The lyrics weren't just good. They were painfully honest. The kind of writing that feels almost too personal to release. And when Selena listened, memories flooded back. Moments they had shared. Conversations they had once had. Feelings they had both struggled to express. It reminded her why she had always admired Taylor's songwriting. Because behind every melody was emotional truth. Not manufactured drama. Not marketing. Real human emotion. And that realization stayed with Selena for days, until eventually, she picked up her phone, opened Instagram, and began typing a message to millions of people around the world. But what she wrote wasn't meant to go viral. It was simply something she felt needed to be said. And within minutes of posting it, the internet began reacting in ways she never expected.